Okay, in the last video we established the domestic equilibrium and autarky for Korea and Japan in the hat market, and you can remember that we came up with an equilibrium price of $10 for Korea and $14 for Japan. And I've sketched in the areas of consumer surplus for both countries, and if you aren't sure what consumer surplus is, then please take a look at the Khan Academy video on consumer surplus, but briefly, it's the value that consumers get from participating in this market over and above that which they pay. So, for example, if you think about the $25 price at zero, there's somebody who's willing to pay almost $25 for a hat in Korea, but instead they only have to pay $10, which is the market price. So the difference between that which people are willing to pay and that which they actually have to pay is called consumer surplus. So if we can find the area of that triangle, we will know what the total value of consumer surplus is in Korea in the hat market. The same for Japan. And once we figured out the domestic autarky equilibrium surpluses, we can allow the two countries to trade and then see what happens to the surpluses, and that's going to be our measure of the value of trade. Do the surpluses in the two countries go up or down? And are there any distributional considerations? Who gains and who loses? So quickly, let's start out with consumer surplus, remembering how to calculate the area of a triangle. So the area of a triangle is a half base times height. Whoops, get into the right spot. And our base for this triangle, of course, is 30. So we've got a half times 30 times, and then the height would be 25 minus 10 is 15. So we have 15 here. So that would give us, and you can calculate this if you like, but that's going to be, let's see, $225. So we got 30 times 15 divided by 2. Okay, and we can perform the same operation for Japan. So 35 minus 14 is the height of our triangle. That's $21. And then the base of the triangle is $42, and then we're going to multiply that and divide by 2. So we get 21 times 42. Multiplied by a half, and that gives us 441. So you can check that yourself to see if I'm right. And so now we know how valuable these markets are in the absence of trade for the consumers. Producer surplus, let's do that quickly too. Maybe I should get another color for producer surplus. Don't have to, but a new color is always nice. So let's find a color. How about this orangey color? Okay. So the producer surplus is the value that the producers get from participating in this market over and above the minimum price they would have taken for any particular unit of the goods. So the supply curve has a positive slope, which means that the producer would have been willing to supply the early units of the good for less than the amount that they actually receive for the good. So we have, let's start out with Korea. We've got a triangle here again, so half base times height. Let's see, we've got $10 for the base, 30 for the height, so that's 30 times 10 is 300, and then we want to multiply by a half, which would give us $150. So using the same expression, so for Korea, it's equal to $150. And then for Japan, let's see, so we've got a base of 14, so that goes up to 14, and then the height is 42. So 42 multiplied by 14 divided by 2, so that's going to be 294. So you can check that if you like. So $294. So if we wanted to, we could, I suppose, add up the consumer and producer surplus in Korea and the consumer and producer surplus in Japan. So for Korea, we could say total surplus, if you like. The total value of this market to all Koreans is going to be 225 plus 150, so that's 375. And the total surplus in Japan, let's see, so what do we got? We got 441, and then add 294, that's 735. So we can say this is the value of this market to Japanese market participants, and with trade, these surpluses will change, the prices will change, the surpluses will change, and we'll be able to see if Japan and Korea are better off as a result of trade.